I said get your yawn out of the way. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Wobbly Players Syndrome, a 40k podcast presented by a bunch of Aussies who'd like to yawn at the start of a podcast to really build that energy up.
Just makes things a lot more exciting.
So get it over the way. Just do it before we go live. Yeah, that worked well.
It was a long yawn. Well, we all just kind of like held it, trying to get through the yawn.
Yeah, I've also noticed after 60 episodes, you finally worked out, be quiet, otherwise we'll catch us saying something stupid. So there's a lot of just sitting quietly.
I said a bunch of stupid things.
I know, I'm going, get through the ad, come on! How is everyone, folks? Sorry?
I'm good. My phone said that Red Belly was live, so that's what my...
Yeah, so he's worked it out. As I said, it is Wobbly Player Syndrome. It is a 40k podcast. It is episode 61. It is called Are You the Gatekeeper?
Are you the keymaster?
Thank you very much as well. Another subscription. Another month of a dancing... Oh, it's not the dancing guy. It's the old Dreadnought.
I mean, that story checks out. I do feel like an old Dreadnought.
It's almost... If I painted it green, it'd be you on the screen, mate. It would be. Yeah.
I am suspiciously keg-shaped, so it works.
Yeah. We should do those intros. So, hi, Michael. How are you?
Tired.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hi, I'm tired too.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. What a wonderful team, energy-filled episode this is going to be. I reckon when we get to our actual main part of the episode, where we do talk about the topic gatekeeping, I reckon our energy might start getting a bit higher. We've got to remember, we actually wrote up a run sheet to try and keep us in control. It's going to be fun. So, hope you're having fun tonight. Pronto Healy? I know that guy on the bottom left. So, there you go. Pronto Healy says, hey, mate, no, it's the Star Wars shirt.
may.
Right, so, as usual, we'll go through our usual stuff, and then we'll get into it. Sounds good? Sounds like a plan?
Yep.
All right. Yep. So, usual stuff is the new releases. Radio Mike is back. Thanks, Crikey, for that.
I can actually speak this time.
Yeah. We tried it without you. I think it's the second time I've had to do that. Don't do it
Having
again.
a list helped.
Well,
It
yeah,
really helped.
I sent you guys the list. I could make it to the computer and do that.
Yeah.
So, what do we got? We've got everybody's favourite new Space Marines in Strike Force Augustus.
Oh,
Augustus?
yay.
Augustus? How do we even say that?
Augustus. I just went Augustus.
Augustus? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've ordered one, but those Marines look real dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
It's like they busted out Nerf guns or something. Like.
Yeah, like...
Sorry, just
missile
Mark.
launchers aren't new. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel of missile launchers.
Yeah, one
Everyone
moment,
says they
Mark's
should be
face is all
shoulder
blue.
launched, and I agree.
Oh, so Tabletop Titans. I can't remember the guy's name, but he actually changed it so the missile launcher part of it is on the shoulders, and then just the gun. It looks so much better.
See, I think the Sergeant's gun looks pretty good with the big hunter-killer missile with the underslung thing. Like, that looks okay. It's the multiple pod things on top where they look like they've just stuck a bunch of shit on a Picatinny rail like some redneck.
Yeah, it's very tactical.
Well,
Yeah.
there's the one that looks like... This is where the age group gets defined. There's one that looks like it's got number 5 head on it. Or the younger audience says it's got Wally's head on it.
Yeah, they're just weird looking. Like they.
Yeah.
But-
well, that's so bad.
They-
yeah, I can see
just-
what you mean.
Yeah.
they don't match that kind of like most Space Marine equipment has a kind of professional vibe, and that feels jury rigged, which is not the Space Marine vibe.
You get a t-shirt. Yeah. You get a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt.
You know, if they released an orc with that, I'd be fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that looks great on orcs. It
Looters.
looks fine on the side of a Scout Sentinel. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it looks like it should be an orc weapon.
Yeah.
It also might have worked if they were in Gravis armor too.
Maybe.
No, I'm sorry, there's
With
no
the shoulder,
coming
not
up
the
from it.
gun. No, the gun itself. But if they
It's
did
like-
it with the Gravis armor, there's shoulder launchers and stuff like that instead of that.
I also do love the world's smallest chain fed to the missiles.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Like, we have those though. They exist. They're like chain-fed grenade launchers. Like they exist. That's a
No,
real thing.
No, but the belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is a
Like with
machine.
the belt feeding the grenade rounds
Yeah.
through. That's a thing we have in real
Yeah,
life.
it is.
Yeah.
It
No,
looks
no.
a little weird.
But it's going into the big rocket pod.
Yeah, the size doesn't match. what
It's going
going
into the Gatling thing
Yeah,
on the bottom.
but
Oh, it is, yeah.
regardless of all that, there is something in that box that is super cool. Let's focus on that.
That fucking dreadnought. Those
That's the one.
fists. Time for fisting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why I bought that thing. I want that dreadnought, and I need more lieutenants in my life.
Who wouldn't?
I do like the box art. The box art looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that new dread. Ooh.
It's a very
Is it-
cool dreadnought.
I don't
Is
know.
it really the new
You could do
Dread, or
without
is
the
it
gun
just new
turret on
arms?
top.
You probably don't have to put it on there. Usually the gun on the very top of the dreads is optional.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah,
looks-
it would be. There's no options anymore.
Hey, it's 9th edition. More guns than should be ready. That's the
Yeah,
whole point.
more guns. Just more guns. Like, they'll just
Yeah.
be, like, strapping those pods from those fucking new Marines on everything.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, what
so
else?
we also had the boarding patrol, Chaos Space Marines, and the boarding patrol, Tyranids. In honor of Not Safe for Work, Mark, I've been asked to do some Age of Sigmar stuff, so I'm going to say that there was the Caradron Overlords battle tome, and some new Caradron Overlords stuff, and a whole bunch of Regiments of Renown, which is cool. And the pre-orders for this week, we're finally getting the Wrath of the Soulforge King set. So new Azrael and Vashtor, which is cool. I'm very tempted to buy that box, even though the only model I want is Azrael.
You gotta have somebody to frame the fight.
I've got a lot of things for him to fight, though.
Well, now you'll have one more.
It's very
Yeah.
strange they bring out a box of both chaos. So, what else is
Yeah.
new?
And then there's the dice set for that, and there's a bunch of boarding patrol boxes, Admech, Demons, Death Guard, G-Seal Cults, new Imperial Knight and Chaos Knight dice, because why not? And the fucking plastic Typhon for Horus Heresy, which I really want to buy one, because I've always wanted a Typhon, and now they're plastic. Building giant tanks like that out of resin sucked.
I can imagine it would.
Or metal.
I mean, like, look at this shit! Look at that! Sucks.
Tell us what we really think there.
Yeah. Don't hold back. Yeah. Cool. And that's it?
Yeah, I think that's all that's happened in the last month.
A couple of announcements were done. So the Snickrot new.
Oh yeah, there was some announcements. I didn't include the
No,
announcements.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Now.
That's why I was just throwing it in now, but that's okay. Go on.
So we got Snickrot. Well, what else was there?
The new book, the Ark of Omen, Vashtor.
Yes, that was. I said that.
You said
I
the
thought.
book was.
No, I skipped it. I skipped to the Wrath of the Soulforge King because
You did.
I was
see?
like excited. You're right. I didn't actually say Arks of Omen Vashtor.
Yeah,
It was a silent Arks of Omen Vashtor at the start
Yeah.
of the sentence.
it was implied.
With an extra Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've got a few things, gone blank on a word that I would use here. So
A lot of people have been making a lot of hay about the fact that the new Farsight has the symbol of the hexagrammaton on his arm.
yes, I don't
Which
know
is
what that means
interesting.
because I'm not the law guy.
The hexagrammaton is like the six wings theory of Horus Heresy Space Marine fighting. And it's
Okay.
the one which, like, the tactics of the Dark Angels are entirely based on.
Right?
The hexagrammaton, that they're like, the fire wing, the dread wing,
Yeah.
the death wing. Like, those
That's
are
the
the
six
six
wings,
wings of the hexagrammaton. And that symbol is the symbol of that style of fighting.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
also
like,
I mentioned.
what the fuck's going on there? It basically made everybody who's been like, when's the lion coming? Just go into, like, overdrive.
Commander Farsight is the lion.
Yeah.
He's been metamorphosing into having hooves.
just weird shit coming out as a result of that thing being on there.
Very good. Cool. All right, let's move on. I want to get into our topic, so I'm pushing through. What do we do next? Hobby progress? Good. Adam, you're up first.
I've had a very productive month. Angron was actually first. He's finished. I did successfully finish 2,000 points of World Eaters. Are they the best? They're coloured. They've gone to the table really well. And look, Angron's not fully finished, but he looks really good up close. And he looks good on the table. I was quite proud of the sword, actually. But yeah, it was practically this month was just pure World Eaters.
The wash or ink or whatever you want to shade that you put on Angron's armor has come out really nice. I got to see it in person the other day, and it's looking good.
No, it was really nice. So I'm happy the way that Angron is coming out.
Cool. I've done stuff. Haven't finished anything. I've been working on Zangors. Trying that spray black, then dry brush grey, and then use contrast. I like it. I like the technique. For mass models, which is what I'm treating these Zangors as, I think it's coming out nice. I do need to find a darker contrast for the armour, but I'm not going to. I think it works alright, so be it. And I have been working on trying to get Mortarion done. So I've done more work on him still. It is the longest model I've ever painted. Remember, I bought him when he was first released. So, and I got some proxy spawn that I've been painting as well. As I said, I haven't finished anything. It's not true. I did finish something, but I didn't photograph it. You'll have to use your imagination. It was Death Guard. So, there you go. I think I got something from Anthony, but he's not here at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like he's got more jump pack guys with lightning claws. These the veteran stone guards. They can have jump packs.
I imagine they might be
Vanguard?
the assault intercessors that he's been gluing jetpacks to.
But these have got lightning claws, which you can't have lightning claws for.
Yeah, I think he wanted to use...
That means nothing to Anto.
I think the intention was to use Primaris Marines as Assault Marines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or as
because
Vanguard, probably.
Because their knee guards there look like Primaris.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely... he's putting his entire firstborn through the... What is it called? The lexicon? No,
Rubicon.
Yeah, Rubicon. Yeah. Which, yeah, why not?
So named because of the Roman river that once you cross, there's no going back.
Oh, yeah. It didn't even click. But yeah, when you say it out loud, that makes sense. But there you go. Battle reports. Okay, the first battle report is it's Anthony and Chris. Great one, Anthony. Where are you? But he did bring out his Blood Angels, and it was against the Harlequins. Do you remember the story at all, Adam? They did tell us.
I opened it, scrolled, and gets lost by the reading, but there is a fair bit, and they do a fantastic, like Chris and Anto do a fantastic battle report.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that narrative.
We'll make sure we put it onto our Facebook page so everyone can read the battle report, because they're not here to tell us in person. But I will not give away who won because you have to read it now. But there was another battle on the same day. We did stream this one. It was the Friday night last week. Hope you joined us. If not, why not? Shake my fist at you. I realised I was doing that and realised it's a podcast. It could be awkward.
You could check out your history on your channel.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You could. I will eventually get it up onto our Facebook, our YouTube page eventually. How'd that game go? That was Angron getting his debut.
I didn't really lose by much.
No, it was only 11 points in the end. Yeah.
I didn't get that many Blood Tide points. I was really hoping to have a lot more Blood Tide points at the start of turn 1, so I could actually do the extra buffs, because the mortal wounds and everything like that hurt me. So if I survived a bit longer and got a lot more Blood Tide points, I think I may have. I wouldn't have changed the result because you just had the end. At the end of the day, you beat me on primaries. Oh, actually, and secondaries as well. I just couldn't take that down. But yeah, it was fun. I dropped Angron at the wrong time, and everything just turned and went, Angron.
Yeah.
See
To
you
be
next
fair,
turn.
every time I saw Angron, I was shitting myself. So I went, everything!
Yeah, but yeah, I've learnt to drop him at the charge phase because I could just spend blood type at whenever I want. So he can come down at any turn whenever he wants.
Yeah,
And
I
it
found that
would have
fascinating.
changed a lot different.
Yeah, at the end of any phase, you can spend the points to bring him back. So
Yep,
Jesus.
either in my phase or in Greg's phase, it doesn't matter. I can just, I've got 6 blood type. Guess what? Angron's coming back.
yeah, so one of the ideal ones would probably be after my shooting phase, and then land there, then you're ready, then you can move your next turn and stuff. But yeah, he's pretty scary. You were hit when you did hit me. I didn't get up.
Oh, especially when I hit you with the super slam.
Oh, how many hits was it when you did the big one?
I hit you with 39 for the sweep, and then I hit you with I think 12 on the strength 12, and it was like massive amount, and it was just like, and I can't save that.
Yeah,
And realistically, you shouldn't be able to save from a Primarch's hit.
true. I did throw my Blight Lords at you, and they went, "Oh shit! I think we've just pissed him off." So, it did not work well. But Mortarion was on the board, and he is still a beast.
Oh yeah, just annihilated. And Derek is the unsung leader.
Derek, my God, what a
he
champion
he turned the entire game around. Derek, I could not do anything.
So Derek is the foul blight spawn. So if you give him the toxic vats, which you'd only put him on the field if you give him the toxic vat, but the wording of his is you can't attack first and you never count as charging. So that means the defender will always strike first. And it was all right. There's Mort. He gets the strike before Angron does. It was pretty brutal.
Mm.
Yeah. But in the end, only 11 points. So it's quite tight. Once I worked out my maths, I was very much doing it out of maths for a while. But hang on, that's not right.
It was midnight to 1 o'clock, so math is understandable.
It was fun.
Math is hard.
Math was hard, even when you write things down, which I thought would make it easier. Cool. All right, so that's our regular stuff out of the way. That was a nice, short, quick, get it out and done with, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
It's like we want to talk about the next segment, but with passion and joy and without the yawning. I'm looking at you. Yeah.
Unkillable Nork, the bodyguard. No.
What?
I just read Tinnies of the Travellers.
Oh, okay, yep. Oh, Angron is cool and all, but you've heard the unkillable Nork, the bodyguard. Yes, I have. For the 1 CP, he can do exactly the same as what Angron does for 8 blood tithe, or 6 blood tithe points. So it's, yeah. You have Nork with the medic next to him, and for 1 CP, you bring him back with 8 wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I think I got that right. TNS of Travels will let me know if I got that wrong. And if he does, I'll just ban him because I never get it wrong. No. I believe that's right. Cool. All right, so we're going to have a break like we normally do. It's a new ad break. It's a bit of an ad break that's in progress. There's no voiceover, so you just get to listen to music and look at the pretty pictures until I get someone to do a voiceover. It's worth it, though. It is something new that I'm part of. We'll explain a bit more after when we get back. It's still only 30 seconds, folks, so you better run. There you go, folks. Use the code Greg10, not Gregio.
Gregio goes somewhere
It's
else.
a good Geo.
Gregio.
Yeah. It is something new. It is Nomad Track Touch. They do a lot of, as you can see, a bit of the ad there. Some light boxes. Gaming accessories. that's the best way I can put it. I've got, it's coming, it's on its way, a custom Twitch light thing for me with my name. It's going to be awesome. I believe someone else on this stream has also purchased something. But
Andre Healy may be watching.
yeah, hence the reason I wasn't going to say who it was. But yeah, give yourself away.
Yeah, it's all right.
But if you're a fan of just little knickknacks and stuff like that, they've got some gaming or some pop culture related to it. Check out the store. It's nomadtrek.store. Here's the other thing to it. Not only if you use my code, you get 10% off, but a portion of your funds do get donated to some very worthwhile causes. Those did pop up in the ad, such as 1% of the world. Oh my god. You can see how new I am as the ambassador here, can't you? Yeah. Sierra Club, Save the Children.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing to say anyway, but yeah. Trust Greggio, he'll save the children.
Let's have a look. Let's have a
You're
look.
gonna check up on me? Yeah.
I'm going to see. Because there's like 3 or 4 charities that they do sponsor,
3.
that they do look after.
Yeah, there's 3 charities.
Donate to charities. So, well, our vision, bring people together at the end of the poor. Our mission, save the children. 1% for the planet. And Sierra
so
Club.
close. So close. So yeah, if you are into some knick-knack stuff and really cool things like that, check out the website. Go nuts with it. Use the code Greg10. Get your discount. Do something for the world as well. Right, done. There's my advert. Longer than 30 seconds. Sorry. So we're going to talk about the meat of this episode. The episode 61 is called Are You the Gatekeeper? No, we're not going to talk about Ghostbusters. As much fun as that sounds, I would love to be doing that.
Well, yes, I am the gatekeeper.
Buddy Minis, g'day. So, gatekeeping. That's what the episode's about. Gatekeeping within 40k. We're going to try and narrow it down to just 40k because, you don't want to go too far down this path. It could get really ugly. We're also going to try and have a bit of a run sheet about it because passions could be quite excitable at this topic. I know, are you the key master? I know, but we're not talking about key mastering. It could be interesting conversation. We'll break it down. We'll go, what is it? What is the fear that causes this? What's the ugly part of it? And then we'll talk about how we feel about it personally, which could be interesting because, we've known each other a while, but you could be dicks. Who knows?
Why, thank you.
There you go. So what is gatekeeping? The terminology is controlling, limiting general access to something. That's in a nutshell. I have notes and I can't read my own writing. This is going to be awesome.
Well prepared as usual.
I've got it on my... It's the right book. Gatekeeping in this point is people who are afraid of people changing their world of their hobby and stuff.
Yeah,
so they
it's
feel
like
they should not be allowed to.
Like generally trying to keep out the wrong type of person in quotes.
Correct, because they're very precious about what they do. Hang on, let's not go down about my opinion.
Tinny's Travellers put in a good comment, but he's gatekeeping.
Like my Titans Club for the last 15 years, not allowing custom Titans. Bunch of fucking gatekeepers. Yeah, and that's the other part. There is many different forms of gatekeeping.
Some are more benign than others.
Yeah. So that's probably what you've said. Tinius to Travellers is probably at the lower end because it can get real ugly real quick. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it can get real ugly real quick. So do we need to talk more about what it is? Because I think if we get into the ugly part, I think we could expand more of that level of gatekeeping.
I think we've covered pretty much what it is at this stage.
Why is there fear for these people to feel they need to gatekeep, hold on to this hobby, and no one allowed to challenge their ways of it. What is the fear? Now, I heard some really good, doing my research. Yeah, we researched this. It may not sound like it, that we're professionals, because we're not, but sometimes we research this. But I heard some great ones. I was explaining to off air before some of the ones I heard. The fear of Ultramarines, because they're Romans, so they must be racist. What? Tau, because they're Japanese, so they must be racist. What? It's just these are some people. Now, I want to be very clear. These are not my opinions. They're not my comments. These have come from research from other people who do not belong in the hobby whatsoever. My favourite one, as I mentioned, is Nurgle is fat phobic. Wait, what? What?
Mm.
Yeah. So, very strange things that people...
I think, the general fear I think that most people who are gatekeeping in the hobby have is that they have a particular way they want the hobby to be. And anyone who wants to do anything else is a threat to their way of playing, because apparently other people having fun means there's less fun for you to have. But that's kind of it. They want to maintain the integrity of the thing that they love. That's usually why people gatekeep in any hobby, because they have an idea that they want to maintain.
They want to keep it to, I think one of the terms was specific standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, controversy right here. Some standards, yes, I agree, should stay in the game, but that's not... Everyone should play. Anything that should happen in any video format. Alright? Change the game, but doesn't mean I have to play the game. Anyway, go down to my opinions. Let's not do that.
Yeah, there are some things that could be said to be gatekeeping that can be good. You know, ornaments have a minimum painting standard. That is a form of gatekeeping.
Correct.
But it just means that the people playing aren't showing up with grey armies. So, you know, it's a fairly benign one. There are much worse ones.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. We have a very we gatekeep in our group. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, if you're a giant piece of shit, we'll tell you to fuck off.
Yep, that's our gatekeeping, and I think we'll protect that one.
Why do I keep getting bloody?
Is not perfect system.
No.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it's the one we have.
Yeah. And Tennis Travis, you are very correct. Yes. You can read them. Yeah. So there are levels of gatekeeping, but I've seen a rise in some bad stuff, and that's why I wanted to do this episode, because I just wanted to rant, really. So I apologise if it's incoherent and frothing at the mouth stuff, but I'll try and control myself. The ugly part of gatekeeping. This is where I will hold back.
All right.
Some examples of ugly gatekeeping. One that seemed pretty instant. The announcement that everybody's favourite hobbyist jumping The Witcher, going to 40k, and we're all going, yeah, losing our mind, Cavill, 40k, woo! Amazon's going to do their work. Ah, what? No, they can't touch this! And the rage that was going, because they'll make it all soft and squirrels like, what? You must protect it. Sign this petition to save our hobby.
Have they watched Warhammer Plus?
Has anyone ever watched the Wheel of Time TV series by Amazon?
Yes.
I have.
That's actually really good. They've kept it to the book, and it's even more
Okay,
Boring.
because
Yeah.
I haven't read the books. I've only watched the TV show. So
I stopped reading the book.
I stopped reading the books too when they got signed on for another 9 books. I went, nope, I'm out.
I finished all the books, right? And it's actually, I enjoyed the TV series and I also enjoyed the books. So, I think Amazon may do a really good job. But I'm open to everything.
Well, Cavill's going to be, hopefully have fairly good control over it. 40K won't let their IP be dragged through the mud.
I mean, you say
an
that.
extent.
There are so many terrible mobile games out there destroying the IP.
In theory,
there is some trash with the name 40K attached to it.
Yeah. I'm just reading Tedious the Traveller's comment. Let's be real, there's gatekeeping in every aspect. Some of it's self-imposed, some of it's money restricting, but it's the level you hold this terminology that becomes a problem. By too restrictive and you run the risk of alienating people. Be too lax and you'll have guys playing with bases and paper slips attached to them for identification. There's a fine line. Yes. Sprue Marines, come on. You've seen them all.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I brought up...
I haven't seen that, but I have heard of it.
Like, the very concept of trying to encourage a standard in something isn't totally negative.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's... Yeah, let's try that again.
There's a big difference between your models must be assembled and painted, and you can't play because you are a woman or something.
Yeah, we don't want the girl cooties in here, no women because they ruin the hobby. Like that kind of lunacy shit.
So we're talking about the extremist sort of side of the gatekeeping.
Or even no kids should be able to play.
Yeah. So because you do need some standards in the game along the way. But what people call standards and what they're actual, proper standards, that's the big...
The golf.
Yeah. The golf. I'd like to play golf. Can I go play golf? See ya. All right. So that was one that I thought, and that's when I started hearing the term gatekeeping more and more because people were raving on YouTube about it. It was directed at the Amazon side of things for a long time. That's pretty ordinary. I said that makes no sense. Yeah, they haven't even done anything yet, but let's be angry at them.
Yeah. You've got to burn them after heresy is confirmed.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Don't they?
There is a small subsection of the 40K fan base who are terrified of more people entering the hobby, just as a general rule, because they know those new people are not going to have the same values as them. So to them, they're like, but this is going to make it more popular. It's not going to be niche. It's going to become mainstream.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still go down in your basement and play second ed like the rest of us nerds.
That's my opinion part. I'll get to that because I don't get it. I think it's stupid, but that's not part 4 yet. We're still doing the ugly.
Yeah.
And then you get really ugly part of it, where abuse can be thrown at hobbyists because they're not a heterosexual male. They just get abused, get called tourist. The comments I've seen, because there's some great artists out there of all types, and just see what they cop is just unbelievable. I'm just going, keyboard warriors to an extreme. So that's the real big, ugly side of the gatekeeping. You can't be in this because you're a girl.
Yeah, when they try and harass out the people that they don't like.
Yeah, it is.
And then they turn around and moan that there's not enough players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone want to play me? I can't get a game. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why. No, it can't be me. It's got to be someone else.
Yeah.
Got to be all those people we kicked out.
I believe it's that. See that gatekeeping, don't be a dick part, really? Yeah. It is ugly. Look, there are some, as I said, there are some great artists out there, and to see what they go through and stuff like that. Look, I'm a white middle-aged man. I'll never understand exactly what they go through, but I just can't believe the abuse that people cop. And that's just not just in our hobby; that's everywhere. But we're focused on our hobby at the moment. It boggles the mind. Boggles it, I tell you. Yeah. Someone else needs to talk because I'm going to rage.
Well, I mean, to form a proper opinion on it, we probably need some specific examples rather than just a general. Oh yeah, hey, we've heard some general rumblings at various, persuasions of people.
I'm very conscious of not giving any credit to the people who are throwing this at people, so I won't mention the culprits. Or if you want to find gatekeeping in 40k, it's very easy to find.
It doesn't take long to find it, but you don't want to give oxygen to douchebags.
No. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Here's a specific example. I know you can't play if you have 2k points. That's really weird. Why not? The whole game can be played at 500 points if you need to. Yeah.
I used to play with like 150, yeah.
Yeah.
It was literally all I had. It was like a tax squad.
That's weird. So there's a few people I follow on Instagram, for example, but who are no longer Instagram because of the abuse they copped. And they were being called a tourist, no girl should be here. Essentially get back in the kitchen. What are you doing?
Oh, right.
Right. So now no one gets to experience the hobby and the person that they are. And they were, it's more than one actually. Their art was great. The attitude was great, but they don't deserve that abuse. Nobody deserves that abuse. And so they've quit. They can't enjoy the hobby anymore. Now, the whole point of the hobby is you're meant to enjoy it how you want to enjoy it. And you have no right to enforce how someone can enjoy their hobby. No right. Sorry. Calm down.
There's a lot of people out there who get very mad that someone else is having fun in their own way and not having fun the way they think they should be having fun.
Yeah.
And it's almost like buying too much into the attitudes of some of the factions and things too, because all the lore is filled with these, heresy kind of black and white type, with us or against us type mentalities and stuff.
Yeah.
I suspect that some of these people, that really speaks to them in their day-to-day, and then they try to bring that out of the lore and into the real world.
Yeah, I mean, you see the terminology from 40k all the time when they start doing that kind of gatekeeping. Yeah. They're talking about fucking, purging the furries or, whatever.
Mm.
And you're just like, fuckwit, you're not supposed to be emulating them. They're not role models. Fuck!
Yeah, it's it's grimdark for a reason. You're not supposed to want it.
Yeah, I like my grimdark fascism to be imaginary, thanks.
Yeah. Keep it in the book.
Yeah.
Keep it in the video game. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like letting the warp out. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. I'm just remaining calm.
You really seem like you've got a bee in your bonnet that you need to let out.
As I said, it just boggles the mind how somebody can tell someone they've never met, have no context for who this person is, or have any dealings with this person, but they feel that they have the right to say, you can't do that. Or get out, you don't belong here. Because you are filling up my what? You are affecting me by how? If it's an Instagram person or a Twitter person, you don't like what they're doing, don't follow them. It's not that hard.
But that would defeat the purpose of hate following.
I'm so glad I'm not on Twitter anymore.
I'm ready to give Twitter up because that's where I actually see most of the abuse on Twitter, not on Instagram. And it's an ugly, ugly platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll pay to get my blue tick.
And this is why I stay in my basement. I don't go to the sewer, basically.
Yeah.
So we're going to just change it up a bit because I want to calm down and just focus on something else. Because Tinius of Travellers has been talking about his hobby group who have a form of gatekeeping, which I find absolutely ridiculous at the moment. The example he has is you cannot play a game unless you have 2,000 points.
And it's a 44 by 60 inch board.
Yeah. It has to be no less than 1750.
The 1750 thing I used to see a lot back when I used to play CanCon all the time, because at the time that was like the standard tournament size, and I knew so many guys who wouldn't touch anything unless it was like 1750 CanCon rules, and that you just couldn't play them.
Yeah, and I know for a while there the 2,000 point thing was a thing as well. That it just seems like a way to get less games. And I don't need that in my 40k life at all, you know.
Yeah, so
I can understand if you have a preferred size, like, you know.
Yeah, but that having a preferred size isn't the same as going, no, I will never play anything under 1750 on pain of death.
Yeah,
how dare you suggest the idea to me that we play 500 points?
Yeah, like, there's a difference between I enjoy playing this size and this is what I want to play, and rolling up to a Facebook group and yelling at people who decided to play a different size about how they're fake gamers because they don't play the correct tournament size. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah. And this is where Tiniest's thing. We were all the owner of 2 Space Marine units and wanted to try them.
Yeah,
and that's precisely, you know, and turning around to a new player and going, you know, you haven't even got 1750 points worth. You're not even worth playing. Like, you know. Chances are the person who's doing that is a kid, who doesn't have the money to go out and drop, you know, $1,500 on models, like, you know, some of these dudes do, and to have them turning away players just on the basis of you're a cock and you haven't, you know, and you think that everyone should be rolling in money.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the kind of attitude that really makes 40k smaller and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1750 is also, it's not only just a large investment, but if you can't try that army till you hit that point, how do you know what units you should be buying, using, playing?
Exactly, and there's how many factions out there? So you what's going to happen is you go, well, I just bought these and they're just an ornament, so I chuck them on a shelf and fuck those guys. You know, like.
So look, we generally play 2,000 points, but it's not because we have to. It's just I think we just fell into the habit more than anything else.
my last like half dozen games have all been like 1,500, I think.
Well, we had a tournament the other day, and it was 1,000 points. That was probably the best day we had for ages.
Yeah,
and
I got 2 games in the day. I managed to actually have lunch for once. It was brilliant. Loved it. 1,000-point games. Yeah, and I was playing NIDS, so realistically, I had the same amount of shit on the board.
Well, yeah, like when I played my son with the starter set from like the basic Strike Force thing, he had a great time.
Yeah. And there's rules to encourage it too. Like you can play the Crusade rules, for example, and it gives you a storyline how to build it up. You can play 500 points because here's a scenario you can play that will suit that. So,
as I said, I wonder if this is one of those things, one of those kind of whack gamer type traits where if it's not tournament rules and giving them experience towards their next tournament stomping of people, then they're just completely not interested. And I do wonder if that's the trap that some of these new players are falling into, is that they see a group of people playing and they go, hey, can I play? And they're like a hardcore tawny group and they've got that dude, go away.
Your classic new person shows up and the dude just crushes them with an ITC list and acts like a dickhead.
Yeah.
And the new player is like, well, I guess I'm shit at this and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennis of Travelers have huge pro smaller forms of play. Yep. Now that being said, also a Titan owner has mentioned that no matter what scale of play, it's important to let others join with their capacities. Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
I was just saying how much I've enjoyed playing small games lately, and I own multiple Titan maniples. Like,
Yeah, and the thing was that, I mean, even with our big game at the start of the year, we've had many where we've had like half a dozen players, and they've only had, 1,000 points or so, just so that it doesn't take all week, and just to get people playing.
Something like the Swarm, where we had 2 models for most of the players.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool.
That was fun. Yeah, it
Yeah,
didn't last so long, but it was fun.
I guess some of this stuff, almost stems from a lack of imagination, even, in some cases. They have this set sort of box that they live in, and the idea that anything exists outside that box just doesn't occur or doesn't compute, and then they go, it doesn't compute, it's not 40k, GTFO. And that kind of thing. So, I almost feel sad for those type of players, because they're the type of person that if you go and have a game with them, they're not going to take the opportunity when it presents itself for something to be fun and cool and off the wall. They're going to be rules as written. This is how it is.
Yeah.
Burn the heretic.
Look, and everyone plays their own way. We've got a very relaxed player in the bottom left-hand corner here. If you ask nicely, he will let you go back to turn 1 to change something. It's great.
Sports person of the year. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And we did have a rulebook player in the group as well. So we have 2 fairly large scales, but we all still get along. And at no point, like if I go play the rulebook person, I know what I'm going to walk into, and I'll still have fun. I'll go play against Adam. I know what I walked into, and I know I will win.
The big difference, though, with our rulebook people is that they take the opportunity to have that they.
So yeah, I wanted to make that point because I wanted to say that people who play those ITC rules and stuff like that, not all of them are dicks.
Yeah. And that's the crucial difference there, is that you have people who can see how it is and sort of play by the seat of your pants a bit, as opposed to a rigid script and you will play this way and no other. Like backing a land speeder into some craggy rock thing to try and jag an explosion chain reaction across the board isn't necessarily the best move to make in the game, but
hell fun.
When you're at the bottom of the 4th turn and the game is pretty much done, you're going to take that for the funsies, you know what I mean? Because we are having fun, remember?
Yes.
So,
when I put this up in the group, so not just these 4, the whole RLG group, someone did come back and say, and suggested number 5 should be GW, the greatest gatekeeper of all time. Now, I didn't reply to that because I didn't agree with it.
I feel like they're actually better than they used to be, but at the same time worse than they've ever been. Like, they're at both ends now. There are a lot of like small scale entries into the hobby.
Yeah.
But because of those gatekeepers who think that you need to have a certain size army or whatever, it is very expensive, more than it's ever been, to get like a full army, like a 2,000 point army.
Okay. So you're saying it's more, the gatekeeping is more because of the price of the hobby, not by the actions of the hobby.
Those gatekeepers make the price super restrictive.
It's not even just the price of things; it's the scarcity. Like Like, even if
Oh,
you have
man.
the money.
I've been trying to buy a fucking Sagittor since the Votan released, and I still can't get one.
Don't you only get them in
And-
December? Isn't that
And
the
if you're
start?
if you're a new player and you want to play Votan,
I'll gatekeep
you know.
that. Get out.
you know what I mean? Like, but it's a valid point here. You know, like, I mean, yes, the price is an issue, and let's face it. I mean, here in Australia, we have our Australia tax, and we're used to getting just completely cornholed by the price. But if you have the money and you cannot buy it,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no bigger gate than not being able to get the thing.
Well, yeah, like a while back there, I spent like 6 months trying to get an Imperial Guard Basilisk, and I couldn't find one. I ended up buying like a 1990s Imperial Guard Basilisk because that was all I could find.
Yeah, look, I tried to get one not long, a few months. I just couldn't find it. It was good. So where my head was at with the gatekeeping is how to get people into the hobby. Yeah, the price is always going to be expensive. That's never changed since the day GW existed.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
That's a consistent.
It's gotten worse. It's always not been great, but like when I started, it was $7.50 for a cavalry guy or $30 for 2 squads of Imperial Guard. You know.
What?
Well, maybe because I had no
Think
money
how
and
much.
I was going, I want that, but I can't because it's $15 for a blister who gave me 3 models and stuff like that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
getting people into the hobby and gatekeeping and all that, I did watch somewhere this afternoon where these two guys were talking about it and they're going, yeah, I play Darktide, and that's great. That's one way of the law. And he goes, and other people, they read the books.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Embrace their love and then go, hey, look, here's a mini. What's your favorite character? Oh, look at this guy, and stuff like that. And don't stop them, but embrace what they love. Don't be the blocker.
So I'm trying to get to what's going on in chat, and I've got a point about this as well, where I feel that they've done a lot more improvements with getting people into the hobby. Price point is always going to be there, but with the starter packs and things like that, the complication is obviously the stupid amount of stratagem rules and stuff like that. But as Jacob was saying in chat, he did a learner game and he cut all the fat out and had fun showing the basic rules of the game. And it's that entry level for someone, apart from the cost, to get something like starter boxes or the combat box and stuff like that. It's so much better than it was when I first started playing, where you basically had to buy a blister, then another blister, and another blister. So they've improved that for that.
It was either the big battle box or pick at it with whatever units were on sale individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant by they've kind of made it better, but it's super expensive. Like, armies are bigger than they've ever been before. The models are more expensive.
Points keep going
like
down. Yeah.
back in like 1989, armies were really small.
Yes, I know. I saw a photo recently. Here's a 2,000 point. It's like 5 models. It was hilarious. Buddy Minis just wants to point out he has no troubles getting minis. Grows up in the streets of the UK. So, should we ban him now or just later on?
No, we won't hold it against you.
Yeah, we live in Australia. We have to fight off the fucking emus that steal the shit off the war.
And we lost that war.
But if you feel like setting up a freight forwarding outfit, we might be able to sort something out.
Yeah. But you're right, Tenius of Travelers. This is a luxury, and I've always said it's not a novice beginner hobby. It is a gold not gold standard, but close to it because of that cost price. So that's where, but if you've got the funds, there is a way to get into it a lot easier with the starting.
Yeah, but again, I mean,
point.
The new blood is in high school now.
And
you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be playing some crusty 80-year-old who thinks that, it should only be played in second ed. It should only be played in second ed in the basement on a 6x4 table and
I've run across people on Reddit. I remember one post. There was this kid who was like, "I'm 15. I want to play 40k. None of my friends are into it. Everyone at the hobby store is like 20, and they don't want to play a kid.
Yeah.
What do I do? So
kick them in the shins until they play. No.
Yeah. But yeah, like Games Workshop, they've done a lot of things to help people get in right at the bottom with little bits.
Yeah.
Like, they've got like the Warhammer Club that you can get like Games Workshop sponsorship to start off at schools and stuff, where they give the club a bunch of free minis and free terrain so the kids can do little games. The problem is that when you get those gatekeepers who are like, "That's not a real game. You're a bunch of, you're a bunch of amateurs. That's
but
cringes and children."
But see, the other dimension to that as well is that you have these small form games, so you'll buy like a First Strike set or something like that, and you have enough to play the little game, but then it's not enough to be a whole unit in regular 40k. So then you're running around trying to find an extra 3 models or whatever, and of course they'll only sell you 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm not saying they do it well. I'm saying there's a way to get in. It's a lot easier to get in than it was.
But this is why we say it's gotten better, but also at the same time worse.
Yeah. They giveth and they taketh away.
Yeah. It's still a business. They've got to make money, and we get to buy a 3D printer. I mean...
And this is what breeds cynical adults who play GW stuff and go, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that terrible thing from GW. I'm surprised it wasn't worse."
Yeah.
I mean, things like Conquest and Imperium are really good if you're like, if you've got a parent like me who buys it for your kid.
Same
like
here. For my kid, yep.
Yeah, it's absolutely for the kids, not
for
me.
the kids. Yep.
Yeah. Man, my son's done so much more painting than me this year. He's painting up his death card. He's learning to paint. I got him like a painting station. I should have done that as my hobby progress. Yeah, I helped my son learn to paint.
There you go. As I said, just trying to catch up with chat. So talk amongst yourselves. The hobby's as big as your budget. Yep. Don't feel bad for the kids. They have tablets, PCs, and phones. Yeah, true.
But yeah,
rule of intent's a big thing to us travelers. We did have someone who played as written, not as intended. They don't play with us anymore. Did you intend to move there? Stop there? Forget your spell something? Oh, look, we do that all the time. Yeah, Adam and I think if you watch our streams, we're around for going. Hang on, can I just take that back? Yeah. Don't forget your... Oh, yeah, good point, yeah. So,
unless I'm winning, then it's like, no.
I'm terrible for like...
Hence, I've never won the sports person.
I'm terrible for being
I'm
like...
winning.
I'm terrible for being like, hey, have you forgotten my ability? Like, that unit's fucking annihilated if you don't move them.
Yeah, look. But it's part of the game, though. You want to have fun. We don't play... Look, this is not a tournament. We don't play tournament and stuff like that. So, of course, we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
I know.
And I just want to make sure my opponent has fun as well, because they're not accidentally screwing up massively because they weren't paying attention for a second.
Yeah.
But, I mean, any time you could bust out a flamer template, I mean... but sometimes you have to stay quiet for that, for the rule of cool.
Flamer templates. Look, we got templates. We no longer have templates unless you're playing... Kill Team has templates? Is it Kill Team? One of the formats has a template again.
Necromunda still has
Necromunda's got the templates. There it is. I knew something with it.
Like a real game.
I only play if we use templates.
Yeah, I only play Necromunda if we use cardboard templates like real players. None of this plastic shit.
Being that I Gotcha player is also a form of gatekeeping. Personally enjoy gaming with every intended strategy use. I'll point out, hey, you won't be able to deep strike around these guys within 12. Yeah, because you know what? No one knows every rule.
Yeah,
and
that is probably the number one rule of 40k is rules will be forgotten.
Yeah. Especially with, as we've complained, the sheer amount of rules creep and extra books. There's just so much stuff to know now.
Yeah, and you're flicking through 5 different books or whatever, cards and...
Yeah. I think that's one thing we've improved on. You don't usually have the 5 books anymore. You can have the one really great app, Battlescribe. No.
I disagree with you, Tiniest. There was one perfect game of 40k, and the Emperor played it, and look where that got him.
He tried to retire, didn't work out.
Don't ruin it. I haven't got there yet.
Look, sometimes you just decide that your opponent getting the Slater Warlord is worth trying to kill their Warlord.
Yeah. No one's ever played a perfect game. Oh, well, I don't know.
Except for Big E. See, nobody can argue that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an argument. How's he doing at the moment? Yeah.
I never said it ended well for him, but you know,
Just like his son, the Lion, he's just having a nap.
maybe he should have forgot a rule or two, and he wouldn't be where he is.
Yeah.
He ran out of CP. That's it.
Yeah.
Slow Marver, of course, Slow Marver. Yeah, he's always got the perfect game. Yeah, good point.
Disappear.
I know
All
there's
right.
something deep I was going to say then too. I forgot.
But
Good.
I think in terms of gatekeeping by GW, I think that's probably not the worst of it by a long shot.
No, I don't. As I said, I didn't agree with the comment. I thought they've actually improved. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm saying they've improved in being more flexible in getting into the, including the books. As you said, the books, they went very backwards with the Warhammer Plus, taking that off. If you ever want to watch stuff, you have to go there. There's the paywall there. But even with the minigames, the War Cries, the Necromunders, it gives you an avenue to play smaller matches. You don't have to invest heavily into buying all the separate books and stuff like that, and still enjoy the model painting.
You also have the PC games. I was sitting here before watching my boy play Darktide. So he enjoys the game. So hey, congratulations! You are playing Warhammer.
Yeah, but that game's Gatekeeper. It won't run on my PC, so I'm clearly being targeted.
It doesn't like my connection very much.
So clearly being targeted.
This is anti-Australian gatekeeping.
Yeah. That's it. Oh dear. So just looking at more chat. It's a very busy chat today, folks. It's exciting. It's great. We want to hear. We want to hear comments and opinions. It's not always about me. Yeah, funny. Yeah. There's a lot of things I'd like to add, but I just think I've turned into a rant. I feel like I shouldn't. You see comments. This is going back towards the real extremists. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, like just the people who aren't gatekeeping the game, they're gatekeeping like
the people,
socioeconomics or ethnicity or some bullshit.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight with Games Workshop improving some of the diversity in their units. It actually has been happening.
Yeah, like stuff like the "you will not be missed" speech. Like they've actually started to take a bit of a stand and be like, you know what? There are some toxic parts of our fan base, and they need to fuck off.
Yeah.
So that's been good to see.
Yeah.
Or like that Nazi that got kicked out of that tournament. That was great.
Yes. Again, I just boggles the mind.
Yeah.
How that can happen.
Somewhere, someone is doing something stupid.
But yeah, as I said, it boggles my mind that anyone would consider that less players is a good thing for the game.
But it's my hobby. You can't. It's my hobby.
I thought it was
that's
my
the
hobby.
attitude, though. It's my hobby.
Yeah.
How dare you intrude on it?
And like, with a lot of hobbies, some people just have this opinion that like kind of seeps in that if someone else is enjoying it in a different way to them, maybe they're wrong.
Yeah.
And they don't like to be wrong.
Mhm.
And they would rather get rid of the people who make them feel wrong.
Yeah.
As I said, it's an alien concept to me because you do your hobby how you
Correct.
do it, and how does that affect me in my basement? You know, like
Yeah.
If you don't like playing Ninth Ed, well, nobody's telling you have to.
go find the other basement dwellers that like to play 7th or 5th
Well, it
or
doesn't have to be
whatever
basement, does it?
edition happens to float your boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I know a person who painted up like a Hello Kitty Sisters of Battle army. If you don't
That's
like
so
that,
cool.
go play someone else.
I think that's cool. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I love the off the wall stuff. That's I mean, that was what brought me to the hobby in the first place. Was just that you could do and as a lore guy, you know, with the 2 Lost Legions and that, where they
Hello
gave
Kitty.
it. Well, probably. We don't know. It's been expunged from record, but it could literally be anything you want, and they purposely left these things open-ended so to foster that. Hey, I want glitter marines, or I want this, or I want that. You know, and look at orcs. You know, that is purely made for kit bashers. 100%.
That was my first. I was talking about this the other day on the stream. Yeah, that was my first army, and I had orcs running around with balloons, gasoline tanks strapped to them, and I was having so much fun. Yeah.
But to argue that there is only one right way to play when orcs and things like that have been baked into the game for the best part of, 40 years now, I think you're kidding yourself. You know what I mean?
One of the taglines for
It's
Knights
literally there for your imagination to run wild and do what you feel works.
Yeah.
Orcs have got the rules of, red, they go fast. Purple, you can't see me.
I know. That's who's sitting here.
I know.
It's a purple orc just here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people who get mad about scratch builds and conversions and stuff. And one of the first White Dwarves I ever bought told you how to make a grav tank out of a fucking stick of deodorant. Like,
Yeah, I remember that one. That was great. And there was a Thunderfire cannon one as well that was
but they got a
made of
rhino and they used like toilet rolls or some shit.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, purple orcs are nowhere in canon, never mentioned once. That's 100% community made because nobody's found
Exactly.
them.
Yeah, they're the stealthiest of orcs.
Yeah,
I've never seen one.
it's true. It's true.
As GW used to say, everything is canon and nothing is canon.
Yeah. And the thing is that, I mean, there are going to be retcons you don't like. You know.
The universe is a big place. The universe is a big place. Dumb shit happens.
Yeah, and well, even at Ninth, I think one of the big things that GW said was play how you want to play.
Yeah, like Games Workshop have been getting more and more aggressive about this. There is no one true way.
Yeah.
Like, there's like 4 or 5, like, kind of official ways in the books.
Yeah. Then you can have house rules.
Yeah, like, they harp on about it. It's like, no, you can play how you want because they're your fucking models.
Correct. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of thing in this world. I just go, what gives you the right? You have to tell someone else how to do stuff. It just makes no sense. Unless you're my son, then you will do the dishes.
I believe if you pay for my models and you paint my models, you can tell me how to play.
Nah.
No, but you know what I mean. But you know,
I've done a... No, I don't.
No, but
Thank
you know
you
what I
very
mean?
much.
Yeah.
If you pay for me to play and go, here you go, here's this, by the way, I'm going to tell you to play. All right, no problems. But I've paid for these. I pay them the way I like them. I'll play the way I like it.
Yeah. This hasn't been too bad of a rant.
It's like how Greg's salamanders are the wrong colour. None of us rag on him about it. Look, they do look amazing. I've said this repeatedly. They do look amazing. Hey, look, I'm in a glass house. My Dark Angels are like 4 different shades of green.
Yeah. It is interesting when people put up, this is what I painted 4 years ago, this is what I paint now.
Yeah.
I go, yeah.
It doesn't help when they change the paint colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time they change the Dark Angel green color, I'm like, fucking hell.
Well, look, my Catachan are blue, so, you know, and my Death Guard are the typical Death Guard colouring. I don't care. I'll still play them how I want. I'll paint them how I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you think about it, colours are just social constructs.
Yes.
Very good.
Color is just a social agreement.
Yeah.
What's red? That's red. So's that. My son argues with me about what counts as yellow and what counts as green.
Okay.
He's like, no, that's yellow. I'm like, no, man, that's highlight. Actually, I was probably like, that's fluoro yellow, and he's like, no, that's green.
Oh, the fluoro yellow and that
Yeah.
fluoro green. Yeah, I can see where the argument comes from that, because I've had that argument with Cass.
Yeah, because my son's favorite color is yellow. So if you get him
Canary
something
yellow?
that's like,
It's Australian
like
gold.
Australian gold. So if you get him something that's fluoro yellow, he'll be like, but that's not yellow. I like yellow.
So get him one that's fluoro yellow and one that's fluoro green,
Yeah.
and see if he can tell.
He'll just say, those are both green, Dad. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Can you gatekeep a colour?
Only if it's mauve.
Yes.
No. So,
For those listening at home, I held up a Citadel paint pot.
yeah, it is frustrating. Anyway, we've been ranting a little bit. I
Just
held
a
back
little.
a little bit. I think, yeah. It's something I just, it drives me nuts when I see it, and I will speak out about it, and it blows my mind that this is in our society. In general, just going. Yeah. But I wanted to highlight this because I've seen a lot more instances of it in the social media at the moment, including Reddit as well. So it's just don't be a dick. It's not that hard. It really isn't that hard.
Yeah. For some people, the compulsion is very difficult to resist.
Yeah, some people are like 90% dick.
Mm.
I'm right here again.
Well, it's no fun to tell you behind your back. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's if you're going to tell them. Yeah.
yeah. Like, where would the fun be if we weren't seeing you? You know, like, just...
All right, so we wrap it up, or we've got some more things we'd like to talk about regarding gatekeeping.
I think that's probably all I've got for it.
Yeah. So I think in the end, there is a good gatekeeping thing, and that's our gatekeeping is don't be a dick. Right? If you're a dick, you're out. That's a good example.
Get your models, put them together.
Yeah, if you're playing a tournament, there will be rules you need to adhere to. There is a standard for tournaments.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because you're walking into that with very clear expectations and that.
Yeah. And, like, if there are, like, hateful, abusive, shitty people, they can fuck off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's good gatekeeping. People
Correct.
who are, like, actively damaging to be around? No.
Yeah. Hating on something before it's actually happened? Probably not great.
Yeah.
Yeah? Let them
Fucking-
let them stuff it up before you hate on them? Yeah, no.
I mean, let's not
It's not good.
get carried away here and say to set your expectations at a high level. But yeah, you know, wait for them to fuck it up first.
Don't hate just
You know,
for hate.
you have to confirm the heresy before you burn people.
And even that, if it doesn't affect you, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple message. I know. Cool. Good. Excellent. I don't know where I'm going next. I'm going to have an adrenaline dump soon. Yeah. All right. So we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it this month. If you do want to continue your opinions, this feel free to leave some comments on the Facebook page. If it's really abusive, you will be gatekeeped.
It's moderated. Let's be honest.
It's moderated. Yes, correct. In the end, you don't have a right to tell other people how to do their own hobby. All right? And at the same point, you get to do how you want to do your hobby. No one can tell you. All right? If you want to do it this way, go ahead. Do it that way.
Yeah, find like-minded individuals. Play with them.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you've got a
Stay
hobby
in your
group,
lane.
if you're in a hobby group that have very strict rules, like you were saying, Tinnis and Travis, see if you can find at least one other person outside that and just get a different experience. I know it's not always easy, depending on what the community is like around you, but yeah, it's not good to have that. That's just weird what you were describing, how that 750 or more, nothing less. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially weird when you have like really niche ones. Like, you'll see groups like some heresy groups get super hardcore about, army consistency because it needs to be correct for the legions, or you can't take those models because that doesn't feel right for the legion you're playing. Or you can't
that equipment was only listed, lunar wolves, or
your mark of armor is incorrect for the time period. Like, yeah.
All my white skies are on foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah, cool. We should move on. Look. As I said, there are some great artists who you should check out. I'm just trying to remember there. Follow the Black Sheep. Katie plays 40k. She works for. Oh, come on! It's one of my favourite battle reports they do. Tabletop Tactics. Yeah. So she's got her own. Here's the Instagram. Random Citizen Arts. Another one you should check out. Electric Eve. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah. The Warhammer Girl. War Hannah minis. Transistor. We often raid after I do my stream. Her colour that she gets is just stunning. Anyone else you can think of off the top of your head, folks? Look at them all drawing blanks. You can see they're all big social media people. Norn Queen Alexis.
Bay Painting.
Yep.
Painting is one I follow on Instagram.
Yep.
She does a lot more Sigma stuff, but she quite good. She paints for her husband.
And we're pointing these people out. Just enjoy their work.
Yeah. They are
Don't be a
great people
dick.
to hang out with. Yeah. I think that's all. We should probably wrap it up and get over an hour stuff. As you saw the new ad, if you do go to Nomad Trek Touch, that's nomadtrek.store, you can find some really exciting stuff to buy. Buy it all. And some of that money will go to charity. Look, I'll be up front. I do take a bit of that money too. I am now a charity. No, that's not right. Make sure you do use the code Greg10 when you do start. Not Gregio. Greg10. You can also support the podcast by going to Wobbly Player Syndrome. Sorry. You do need a bit more than just that. You do need to go to buzzsprout.com Wobbly Player Syndrome, and you can actually subscribe. You don't have a lock-in. You can do a one-off if you want. You can always subscribe to the Twitch channel, Red Belly. Anything that you want, I will not say no. We appreciate it. It does help us with that. We do have some running costs, so it does help us keep us going. 61 episodes strong. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, we've still got a hangover from our 60th.
Yeah. That's why we're tired.
It feels like it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yes. You can find us on Facebook, RLG40K. You can obviously follow the group on Instagram with RLG40K. There's a pattern here. And if you can, please subscribe to our YouTube. It's not called RLG40K. It's called RLG Real Loud Gamers. Fooled you all. You make sure you do follow Adam on Instagram.
Pronto 40K.
Make sure you follow Anthony Bulldust40K. He's not here. And you can also follow me, Red Belly Black, on Instagram. If you are listening to the podcast and not watching us here live, you can catch up with me on Twitch on Thursdays and Tuesdays, the hobby nights. We could talk about fun stuff. Yeah. I won't rant and rave unless you tee me off. Whoa. What did I hear? I heard a great comment. I'm so angry. You've made me... What was it? I'm angry enough my nipples are tingling. So, sure. What? That's how you know you're angry.
You know you're angry when you've got the spicy nipples.
Yes. Anything else? Did you want to promote anything, you three?
Nah.
No.
I'm good.
You're done? You're good? I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat, Tinies of Travellers, with your insight of what's happening in your gaming world. It's weird, man. That's strange. I haven't seen... It just makes no sense. Why would you do that? Buddy Minions, thank you for pointing out that you have no issues because you're in the UK and you've just walked down the street and there's 40k miniatures on the street. Want to bash this? Turn left. Yeah. It's great. And Jacob, of course, welcome. Always putting your 2 bits as well. I'm rambling now. I'm going to go away. Say goodnight, Michael. No, not you, Michael. You got to do the sign-off. Good night, Adam.
Good night.
Good night, Mark.
Night.
Good night from me. And now we'll give it back to Michael. See, he wasn't here last time. It threw us out.
So, how many gates can a gatekeeper keep if a gatekeeper did keep gates? Hopefully, a whole lot less, because more people in the hobby is good for the hobby. But we certainly don't gatekeep our content, and you can join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome.